All right. So this is a 5-minute talk, so you miss it, you lose it. Stay focused. So my name is Alex Zeltcer, and I'm CEO and co-founder of Insure.AI. Insure.AI is a payment fraud prevention platform dedicated to digital assets. And in the last couple of years, we've been speaking to many cryptocurrency exchanges, on-ramps and NFT marketplaces, and are always confronted with the question or with the notion that, crypto is different, the fraud pressure is different, it's very high, it's very scalable, it's the hardest to protect. But is that really so? Is it really that different than other digital assets in Web 2? And is there anything that we can learn from assets in Web 2 that have been protected for a while now that we can bring into Web 3 and allow for easier on-ramping and easier and frictionless experience for our users? Let's look at an example of prepaid debit cards that are sold online. They've been sold online for a while now and experience quite large amounts of fraud. When we come to analyze whether these products or these assets are attractive to fraudsters, we need to look at it from the fraudster perspective. And what do they care about? So the first thing they care about is privacy. They want to make sure that no one knows that they've perpetrated the fraud. So obviously that's important. And when we look at crypto and we look at NFTs, privacy is very important, but there's no real anonymity. When you look at prepaid debit cards, they're completely anonymized. There's no way to track transactions that happen with a prepaid debit card. The other point is regulation. Again, fraudsters are not very happy about you tracking them and looking at them through KYC. As we know, crypto is now experiencing a lot more regulation, and implicitly so for NFTs. For prepaid debit cards, that's not the case. Any transaction below $10,000 is completely anonymized. There's no KYC requirements, no AML. So again, more attractive to the fraudsters. When you look at the next point is liquidity. That's probably the most important one from the fraudster's perspective. And here we need to realize what they're trying to achieve here. These are fraudsters that are not here to steal a pair of shoes or an iPhone or an NFT. They're here to do this as a business. And what they actually do is they acquire a list of stolen financials on the dark web. They pay for it. It's a list of prepaid debit cards, normal credit cards, bank accounts, PayPal accounts, and they need to create a positive return on their investment. They need to make more money than they've just paid. So what do? They have to buy assets and sell them. And the easiest is to do that with digital goods, obviously. Once you do that with digital goods, what's really important when you do that is the liquidity of the asset that you've created so that you can so that you can turn it back into cash. That's what they're in for. And when you look at the cryptocurrencies and NFTs, some of them are rather liquid today, but still not as liquid as a prepaid debit card made by Visa, obviously. So again, more for the with that, we can confirm protecting both cryptocurrencies, NFTs, and prepaid debit cards for a while. And indeed, while the fraud is very high in crypto prepaid debit cards. So what can we learn from protecting assets in Web 2 that can help us on-ramp and onboard? The first thing we've prevention platforms are primarily dedicated and are very interested in identity verification. They go in KYC, whatever. We've learned it's that effective in Web 3, where anonymity is very important. More than that, we've learned that more than 80% of the fraud perpetrated in crypto and NFTs is done on fully KYC were previously acquired on the dark web. So it does work. What does? What we've learned is that behavioral analysis and behavioral features, that's what actually identify the fraudsters and see them as part of a group fraud. More than scalable fraud patterns, the only way to identify attack you is to link the different accounts that each of them looks seemingly legitimate and identify by. And that's what we've been able to do in the last few months. Crypto exchanges, providing complete instant settlement and instant deposit, whatever the payment information, whatever the payment method is, whether these are bank accounts or credit cards. We've been able to provide full chargeback guarantee for again, able to reduce the KYC down to the regulatory level, frictionless experience. Are interested in clients in an easier and come talk to